So tell me, what do the cards reveal? What's the truth they conceal? She's the high priestess with the key to every question that's haunting me. A lover's heart or a warning from the past. In the terror's embrace, I'm spellbound at last. Truth's come undone, it's a dance we must face. In the chaos, I find my place.
In the tarot's embrace, I'm spellbound at last. Truth's come undone, it's a dance we must face. In the chaos, I find my place. The moonlight glows, the veil is thin. Lunar affinity will call again. Thanks for walking in the light, where guides whisper pure insight. Until we meet, the cards will wait. Mystic whispers guide your fate. With every message our spirits send, for cosmic dreams our souls transcend.
Hello, everyone, and welcome in. I see some new faces tonight, so just to let you guys know, if you're looking for a free question, it is a yes-no format. If you have an open-ended question, I'll be happy to answer it for you, but it does require a donation. I have paid reading lists in the description of this video, and if you have any questions, just let me know. But free is for everyone, one question per person. The only thing I ask is that you like the live stream if you are interested in getting something free tonight. We're going to go ahead and get started with Sophie. I'm getting a yes, Sophie, the King of Swords. Yes, 9 of Pentacles for Amy. Elsie, yes, Page of Cups. Nanny's, yes, Ace of Pentacles. Brittany, yes, 6 of Wands. Welcome, Amy. Shavana, maybe. 2 of Pentacles. I'm leaning towards a yes, Shavana, but I did get a maybe. So it's possible that it's just going to take more time to know. Maybe you guys got to get to know each other a little better. But I'm leaning towards a yes. So if you're wanting like a green light basically to get to know this person, it's leaning in that direction. You're welcome, everyone. Amy, okay, have fun with that. I hope you have a good night. Be careful with homemade laundry detergent depending on what ingredients you're using. I do know with homemade laundry detergent, you a lot of times have to make sure you have good airflow and that you're wearing a mask because some homemade ingredients can cause chemical reactions that aren't good for your respiratory system. So just be careful. I think it's the borax or something like that if you're using borax. Yeah. Okay, this is for Amanda McNeil. No, Amanda McNeil, the Hermit. Shavana, you're welcome. Have a good night, Amy. All right, this is for Sienna. Sienna, better things in the next 4 months. Yes, 6 of Pentacles. You're welcome. You're very, very welcome. Okay, guys, 4 minutes left of the free list. Donations are open. You're welcome, Sienna. All right, guys, that is it for the free list. We are going to move on to donations. Currently, no wait. Hey Tina, welcome in. I saw I got a donation from you. What can I do for you? I want to know how the future of my new job will go. I'm leaving my job 13 years. Well, I hope congratulations are in order. That's a very long time to be at a job, so you should be very proud of yourself, regardless of the conditions of your leaving there. How will the future of the new job go? You're going to have the trust of authority figures, or you might even be going into a position where you are the authority figure. I feel like there's basically people on your level, or even the people above you, that are really going to appreciate you and your work ethic, and they're going to be taking notice of you as well. I think that this job is like where your ideas and your expertise are welcomed. I think that this transition might be a very bittersweet one, to be honest with you. I think that there's um, definitely going to be some adjustments. But I think that they value you in what it is that you have to say. Trust is like a big theme here. Um, you're coming across as an intellectual. I don't know if this is the same, what am I trying to say? Career industry. Like, I don't know if this is like a similar thing or something completely different, but there are qualities about you, whether this is the same type of career or something different, completely different. There are qualities about you from this previous position that are very much sought after by this new job. So it can be literal, like, experience if it's the same industry, or it can just be your dedication, your loyalty, your persistence, and your je ne sais quoi. Like, it can be your punctuality and the things that you were able to contribute, if that makes sense. Regardless, there's a lot of these qualities from what you currently have done, who you are, and what your experience has been, that is highly valuable to these new people at this new job. They're almost looking at you as an idea person, someone who can come with like fresh eyes. That just valuing you and your opinion is like a big thing here with this new job, for sure. um I think there's always going to be a bittersweet feeling when leaving one place and moving to the next. Maybe more sweet than bitter, but it's still going to be that adjustment, because it's everything is new, new people, new environment. and there's a comfortability that comes from being at a place for a very long time and then going into something new, even if you know people there already, especially if you don't know anyone there, that it's like walking into like a new school, and having to kind of learn the culture of that specific company. Um, so there could be some parts of the old job that you might miss, but I think you're going to fit in really fast with this new job. I think it's going to go very well. I think any feelings that you have about your old job is going to go away pretty fast. Um, like I said, with any transition, there's going to be an adjustment, but I feel like you kind of walk in here with almost like a confidence or something like that. How does the future of this job go? You have lots of kings in this reading, and even a queen. It's making me feel like you have like authority's ear or something. I asked long term how this is going to go for you. Do you travel at all with this new job? Like, even if it's local travel, is there like I don't know why I just feel like I need to ask that question. And it could just be to you deciding whether to stay or go kind of thing. But like for instance, in a orthopedic job I had for a couple of years, I traveled. So I started in one location as a home base, and then I moved to another location as a home base, and then I got a different position, and then throughout the week I was going to all three offices. So it could be like local travel and just working in different offices each day. Um, or it can literally mean like there's opportunities to travel with the position itself. But I just felt the need to ask that question because I'm feeling like at some point it expands, like you have the opportunity to commute or travel or something like that. You do travel to different offices. But he's trying to get an office in your neighborhood. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, because eventually I think there is stability here. I have the magician, which indicates that you have the power to kind of influence this outcome. And then I also have the King of Pentacles. So this talks about stability and structure and things like that. So it's very possible that you eventually settle in to like one place. But I was feeling for some reason like traveling between locations. It makes sense. He will branch out to longer distances. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Are you working closely with a masculine energy? Because, like I said, I'm picking up on a lot of kings here. The person you're referencing as he, is this someone who you'll be working closely with? Or is this just someone you're in communication with regarding the position? Because I feel like you're going to get close to this person. Or closer to this person, like meaning that you might be seeing them more often. This person values what you have to say. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So yeah, long term, this is a great opportunity for retirement benefits and things like that, social security, 401k. It might even be a job that you choose to retire from, because the King of Pentacles is the energy of like wanting to set yourself up for future success, wanting to give yourself the best odds, the best opportunity, so that way when you do plan on retiring later in life, you have everything you need. You've created a nest egg. You have hit, the max benefits, and you got your 401k looking real nice. So I feel like this may even be the job that you retire from. Depending on obviously your goals, this feels like a good solid place. Okay, this is making sense. So is he okay, so just to understand correctly, you're leaving the job of 13 years. Does this boss also work at that job of 13 years, or is this boss for the new job, or both? Hey Anna, free list is closed for the night, friend. We got a scrolling banner across the bottom of the screen. Feel free to donate $5 if you want me to answer that question, okay? You're transitioning into a new position full time. Okay. Okay. But you'll still have contact with this person after the transition? I don't know why I just feel like you get closer to this person. I remember saying like authority trusts you. Either you are the authority or like you have authority's ear. You have like influence over some type of superior. So, in conclusion, overall, Tina, I think this is a great place for you to be. I think this is an amazing opportunity for you. I do think the transition is not going to be butterflies and rainbows. Okay. I think that it is going to be an adjustment. I just want to be very clear about that. Um, some days might be way amazing, some days might be a little harder, but you will find your footing, you will get your rhythm, hopefully sooner than later. But as with any kind of transition with a job, there's an adjustment. So if you're going, full time from part time, that's going to be a mental adjustment for you, even if everything else goes really smoothly. Okay, with a new position, not part of the old job. I love that you are realistic about it. Yes, yes. And I have cards here that are showing that. So that's why I wanted to like basically, reiterate that for you. But overall, showing you overcoming challenges. Um, you know, there's just gonna be a little bit of that transitional period, but I think you're gonna do really well. I really do. Awesome, great to know. It also shows up relationally. Thank you. You're welcome, Tina. Thanks for stopping in, friend. You too. Thank you. Oh my gosh, Day. I have not seen you in I feel so long. Has it been a while or am I just remembering incorrectly? I feel like it's been a while since I've seen you. Oh, good. I'm so happy to hear that. Yes, things have been going really well over here. So I've got you for an in-depth reading tonight. Did you have a question that you wanted me to look into, or did you want a love spread? Michael, hi, I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Andre recently came back. It's just weird how things ended. He's currently dating, so I'm confused. Michael, my yes no list is closed. The free list is closed. So just donations and paid readings at this time. I had to remember this guy. The name. About all I remember. Alright, what's the truth here? Alright, so Day, this is like the energy of I want my cake and I want to eat it too. He's not so much worried about his current dating relationship. Things are not as great as it seems on the outside. I would be wary of this energy only specifically because it feels unstable. I have a card of the Fool, and it says it's time to embark on a brand new beginning. And then I have the Nine of Cups, which speaks to getting what you want or having your cake and eating it too. This is the energy of someone who's like serial monogamous, meaning that before he exits one connection, he wants to make sure he has another one lined up. And that's why I worry about it, because it almost feels like he's trying to see like if you guys, if there's anything left for you here, if there's any unfinished business, because I think that he might be planning his escape from this current dating life, and he's trying to see, I almost feel like he needs like reassurance, like external validation, and he doesn't know how to be alone is what I'm picking up on. And you are the past, but you are familiar to him. You're an easy person for him to connect with because he knows that there have been feelings there before. And I feel like he's lacking something in his current relationship and he's looking for that elsewhere. Okay. And you just happen to be in his contact still. So, yeah, that's 100% what I'm picking up on is that there's something lacking in his current relationship. He's not super happy with it. But the problem is that it's going to take a lot for him to leave this relationship if he doesn't have something else lined up because he's a very insecure person and he does not have the wherewithal or the courage or whatever to actually leave if there's not someone else available for him. He has a lot of childhood issues and trouble, maybe with like abandonment or something along those lines. He's broken and he has issues being alone, and he feels like he can't figure it out. So I don't know if you've heard of the term serial monogamous, but it's basically where someone just can never be alone. They always have to make sure that there's someone else there to validate them. And that is a very toxic thing because you should be able to be your own person without needing that from another person. Um, this is also, he also might have the tendency, which doesn't have to do with you, but he might also have the tendency where he loses himself in relationships. Like he might lose himself with his friends and things like that. And then like basically like kind of diminishes friendships even what when he gets involved with someone, almost like his whole world just becomes that person that he's dating. And then when he feels like, okay, this isn't working out for me, then he can't go back to those friendships because he didn't nourish them and nurture them while he was in a relationship. But because he's so afraid of being alone, then he's seeking them out too, not just a romantic way, but also a platonic way because he doesn't know how to be alone. So he's in this like cycle, it feels, and I'm weary about him connecting with you because I think that there's an ulterior motive for sure. You definitely agree. You sensed he's planning his exit. Definitely agree on point. Yeah, I mean, because you've got to think to yourself too, like, why now? You know what I mean? Like, why now all of a sudden if he's dating someone? Like, it's definitely sus. It's sus before even getting the reading because I can tell from you, you're just thinking, what is the motive here? It feels calculated. It feels like I can't trust it. And I 100% am in agreement with that. And like, you don't want to have to be the fallback person either for him. Like, let someone else do that or let him figure it out on his own. But what he needs is to be single. Like, what he needs is to come to the realization that he is okay by himself and that he can validate his own self. But that requires growth and evolvement and bravery that I frankly do not think he has in him right now. You sensed it and set a boundary. This isn't that type of party. Exactly. And that's what I said. I said, don't come back now. 100% day. He's like the classic, the grass is always greener somewhere else. He either needs to settle into this relationship and try to make it work with this person, or he needs to leave and get comfortable being single. Really, those are his only two healthy options, and it seems that he's not prepared for either one of those things. Correct. I'm going to donate for another question. Okay. Sounds good. Got it. I got for a in-depth and a mini, it looks like. Is that correct? Perfect. Okay. I'm ready when you are. Is this a break in your game right now? Which one do you want to do first? The mini? For the mini, can I ask if the current partner he has now? When we were together, did he have her on the side? Because she popped out of the bunch and he told me no, but I don't believe him. Yeah, you can ask that question. It's fine. I'm particular about third party readings, but only if you like want to spy on the other person's relationship, or if you're trying to sabotage their relationship. But when it pertains to you and information that you need to know because you were together with him at the time, that's fine. I don't care because I'm going to let you know. So let's pull some cards on that. No, out of the blue. Okay. Okay, so the current partner he has now, you want to know if when you were together, did he have her on the side? You know what's weird, Day? I am getting a yes, number one, but I'm also feeling like he's doing to her what he did to you, meaning that when you were together with him, he was getting her ready to be with her or talk to her or get that set up. And now he's considering leaving her and coming back to you. So it's like he's basically doing what he did to you to her now. Yeah, that's what you said too. It's eerie, like how this is actually playing out. Exactly, trying to do the same thing. I can tell you with full confidence that, as best as I can with tarot, that she was there. She was around when you guys were talking to each other, when you guys were together. Um, their connection is the Four of Wands, which is like relationships. The Lovers is here, which means that even if they weren't like being a physically affectionate or like hooking up or anything, there was definitely some kind of emotional or flirtation component that was happening while the two of you were together. Very much physical attraction at a minimum, because the Ace of Wands is here. And I see here too, with the Nine of Swords in the center of the reading, is that he was feeling very conflicted between the two of you. Thanks, babe. But ultimately, I think that things played out the way that they did. And now, maybe because you guys didn't have closure or something, or maybe the grass isn't as green as he originally thought. And now he's trying to come crawling back to you. And the thing is, which you're not going to allow it. I can definitely tell, you have a good head on your shoulders and your curiosity is piqued, but I can tell that you're very adamant about not being with this person. But let's play devil's advocate and let's just say you did let him back in. He's never going to learn his lesson because he's going to think he's basically like a kid. He's like testing the limits right now. You know what I mean? He's like trying to see what it is that he can get away with. And ultimately, you or her, the girl he's dating, or whoever else, it's like if that behavior is enabled and allowed, then he's gonna keep doing it. Exactly. So I'm feeling very confirmed here in this reading that your intuition was very much correct. And I also feel like you need to honor that intuition too, because it's actually kind of crazy how like the things that are coming out in these readings and you're like, no, I actually said that, or I actually thought that. So I feel like I'm hoping that this is more just confirmation for you to use your inner knowing and use your intuition as a guide to help you navigate dealing with the situation with him, because you are correct and you have been. For in depth, I want to know if it would be more satisfied emotionally and financially going into cosmetology school or getting your bachelor's in psychology. Okay. We're going to kind of separate this out. So on the left side, I'm going to pull cards for cosmetology. And on the right side, I'm going to do psychology. Okay, so both of them are kind of on even playing fields, but I would say if you're looking for more emotional and financial fulfillment, I would go with cosmetology. The thing about psychology, the bachelor's in psychology reading, is that it shows that you have more confidence in this department, or like in this area, this industry, whatever. You have more confidence here because I think it's very black and white, whereas the cosmetology route is more about experience and creativity, but eventually you would gain the confidence you need in cosmetology. Cosmetology is more labor intensive. They're showing me 10 of swords and 4 of cups. Um, and so I don't think that the bachelor's in psychology would be as labor intensive, but I think you have more opportunity with cosmetology as well. You're welcome, Day. And so when I pull cards, there's a couple things I'm looking for. You're specifically asking for emotional and financial um, fulfillment, right? And I literally have emotional and financial fulfillment in the cosmetology category. Emotional fulfillment is the Page of Cups. It's saying a love and a comfort, and it's a good idea. And it makes you feel more connected. Um, there's also, it also talks about you being connected to like emotional issues. And I kind of just want to speak from experience really quickly because I am a licensed cosmetologist. And I also want to let you know that there's more flexibility with cosmetology. You can have your own salon, you can rent a booth, you can work in a salon under a company. There's much more opportunity and like room for expansiveness and growth with cosmetology. And you have that psychology component, okay? Because when someone's sitting in your chair, they feel emotionally connected to you. And I don't know how to explain that other than people feel they can open up to their stylist. They feel like they can build a rapport with their stylist. And you know, a lot of the times, especially if you have regulars, they start to confide in you and they start to feel like, you know, they can trust you and things like that. And no, you can't necessarily offer advice in terms of like a psychological degree would be able to provide, but you can offer wisdom, you can offer your own experience and be like a friend to them. There's still that connection, psychological connection. And that might be why you're drawn to both, because maybe you're drawn to wanting to understand people and help people and things like that. There's a lot of connection there. Like, for example, you know, I've been a stylist and I've also been a clinical assistant at an orthopedic office helping people. And now I do tarot and I'm helping people. And if you think about the common denominator, it is wanting to assist and help someone on their journey, want to make them feel better, you know, like liking seeing the, you know, before and after of it all. And then as far as the financial component with this, you have the Ace of Pentacles, which means that it is a very big financial opportunity for you, depending on what you want. Do you want to do braids? Do you want to do extensions? Do you want to specialize in blonding? Do you only want to do women? Do you want to do men? Do you want to do you want to work in a barber shop? Like, there's definitely different areas that you can work with. Like you said, more of an entrepreneurial route. And your confidence is not going to be there right away. That is what they're telling me. But the confidence will come with experience. I feel you feel more confident right off the bat with the bachelor's in psychology, but long term, the emotional and financial fulfillment, I don't think is going to be the same as with cosmetology. Okay. And this is not a biased opinion in the least, because I don't even practice cosmetology anymore, really, besides on like family. You know, I left the cosmetology industry a long time ago for my own personal health reasons, but it doesn't mean that there's not value in that. And so when I say it's not biased, it's not advice coming from a stylist. You know what I mean? It's advice just coming from someone who can see between these two different readings that one provides more of that well-rounded fulfillment and meaning to your life versus the bachelor's in psychology. Also, with getting the bachelor's in psychology, it depends too on like what route you want to take. Do you want to have your own personal practice? Do you want to work under someone for another company? I feel like there's less, for some reason, professional opportunity with a bachelor's in psychology. Like, there would be something available to you, but you might not like where you work. You might not, you might have a hard time with your clients and things like that. I also feel like, you have to consider the type of person that you are today. Are you the type of person that's going to bring your work home with you? Because if that's the case, you probably don't want to go the bachelor's route. You probably want to go the cosmetology route, because with cosmetology, there's instant gratification. That person walks in feeling down about themselves and they leave feeling amazing because you gave them a transformation just in the short time that you guys had together. Whereas psychology, and depending on what type of profession you would do with that bachelor's degree, it might take weeks and weeks or months and months before you start to see the progress with those clients or those patients. And if you're the type of person to take work home with you, like, you might worry about these people when you're not even on the clock anymore, and that might be very mentally intensive for you. Whereas cosmetology, it could be labor intensive, but it is immediately rewarding. So, and you're not going to take any of that home with you, really. Like, maybe you'll think, oh, I could have let her process for another 15 minutes and it would have been better, but you're not going to be taking that heaviness home with you. And so if you're the type of person that can detach and compartmentalize, then maybe that wouldn't be so bad. But if you are the type of person to take something home, I'm still leaning in the cosmetology route. I really am. But I get what you mean, because I have a spiritual business, and before it was me wanting to be a nurse and changing to psychology, but I'm like, I do want to change to different business as well. Definitely. And I mean, I don't know how far you've come. If you're heading for the bachelor's, you might already have the associate's degree. But I know cosmetology school potentially could be even faster as well for you, like a faster school and education experience before you're licensed. So, like for me in Virginia, it took about a year, and I pretty much took my boards right after school. And I want to say within like 13, 14 months, something like that, I was fully licensed and I had a job. So, depending on how long it takes to get a bachelor's, I'm not sure what so if bachelor's is quicker, then you might be thinking, oh, maybe that route. There's a lot to consider, but from a spiritual standpoint, from the cards that I pulled, I think the fulfillment and financial stability comes from cosmetology. We have to choose one or the other. You would be starting from scratch, just like you hate school but love learning. Cosmetology school you're looking at was 9 to 12 months. Yeah, exactly. So, that's the route I'm leaning. Obviously, you have free will and you can do with this information what you will. But I think there's just more opportunity with cosmetology. I gotta be honest. I think there's so much you can do with that. You can work in a salon. You can work at a barbershop. You can work in your own house. You can own a salon. You can rent a booth. You can get one of those like salon plaza salons where it's just like the one person salons that you pay per month to rent the booth, and they have everything. You order your own supplies and run your own business. You can work on a set of a TV show. You can go to LA and work on movies. You can do like, what is it called? the specific makeup where it's like the graphic kind of makeup for different like sets. You can work on you can collaborate with a photographer, and you can do hair and makeup potentially, or you can collaborate with a makeup artist for weddings, and you could do like travel stuff. Like there's just so much that you can do with a cosmetology license. And I feel like a psychology bachelor's does kind of put you a little bit in a box. So that's another thing to consider as well. Yeah. You're very welcome. You're taking this advice and gonna apply it and gonna keep you updated. Or keep me updated. Yeah. I think that would be great. So think on it. Don't make any like, you know, immediate decisions. But I think it's gonna come to you. And if it hasn't already, I think you're gonna just know what it's going to be for yourself. But I am happy to have done these readings with you. It was so good to see you again. I looked up our history on Cash App and PayPal, and I think it said the last time I seen you was just after my wedding. It said December 2023, so it's been a year and a half. It's been a long time, unless you donated from a different place, of course. But I'm happy to hear you're doing well again. It was so good to see you. I knew who you were as soon as I saw your name. Then I was like, "Oh my gosh. I haven't seen her in so long." Maybe the next time I see you, you'll be graduated from cosmetology school. Thank you again. I appreciate you a lot. And just remember that the confidence from cosmetology is going to be from experience. You're not going to leave school and feel fully prepared and fully equipped. And, when I left school, I had a job at a well known franchise, and they basically promoted me to be manager immediately. Like within weeks of being there, I was already promoted to management, and I kind of had to just fake it till I made it. But if you have the opportunity to work under someone else, even if it's for a little bit lesser pay for a short time, and get the experience from a more seasoned stylist, and I think that will build your confidence so much faster. So just a little tip there for you in case that's something you want to consider. Aw, I'm so happy to hear that. You're very welcome. I hope you have a good rest of your night, okay? Hello, everyone. Okay, so I had 2 donations that came in neck and neck. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so it looks like Teichi or Techi, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it. You were first. You came in just before. And then Philomena, hello. You were just after that. I've got you both down for mini readings. Philomena, thank you for sending a little extra. I appreciate that, especially with all the PayPal fees and everything. Let's take a look here. Techi says, this is regarding the guy I said I believe likes me at my job. Okay. I'm sure I recognize your name. I just have to be honest. I don't remember exactly what the reading was we did before, but that's okay. I don't need to know that to read the energies. So if you want to remind me, feel free. But otherwise, we can just pull cards. Did you have a specific question you wanted to ask, or did you donate for a love spread? Oh, you posted the question in there. Okay, hold on. Let me pull it up real quick. Okay, perfect. Yep, give me 1 second and I will get shuffling for you. I'm just going to post the donation list really quickly just so everyone knows where they're at. All right, what does this person like about you? Okay. Give me 1 second. What does he find attractive and what does he like? Okay. Sounds good. Let me shuffle for you. Philomena, if you're in here and you want to drop your question in the chat, feel free. You will be next. All right, so you have the mother archetype, okay? Giving mother. So there is a part of you that's extremely comes across extremely compassionate and nurturing and very caring. But also sometimes with this archetype, it can indicate that you have a really great body and that this person like looks at you as someone that they would consider breeding with. And I know that sounds so primal and kind of weird, but there is an attraction this person has to your physique, feeling like you would be a great person to mate with, to have children with. There's like a physical component with your body and that this person's very attracted to. So you can be very like curvy and then it's telling him that you like have high fertility. It's telling his innate nature that you have high fertility. You could be very like athletically built, and it's telling him that you are a really great, it's telling his primal side that you're a really great candidate for a healthy child. There could be just like different qualities about you. Maybe there's a specific, maybe you're petite and there's a specific like a body type like that he's attracted to and that he would want to hook up with. So the mother archetype, it's kind of like dual-sided. It's where there's attraction to the physical component of like mating with you, okay, having physical and sexual encounters and potentially like creating offspring with you, right? And then there's the mental component of she's very caring, she comes across very compassionate and loving and nurturing. And again, when we're talking about the primal mind, when we're talking about what a guy is looking for, he's typically looking for a wife and mother to his children. He may not consciously understand that, but there is a physical, primal, innate need to want to reproduce, and that you feel like someone he'd want to do that with. So you do have a nice curvy body, athletic as well. So there's definitely this connection to from his mind to his anatomy that's very physically attracted to you and just loves your body. All right. But also really loves your mind as well. From what he's able to gather, like I said, you're very loving, very caring, compassionate, generous. You also have the guide archetype as well. So this is indicating that you seem to be someone who has a good head on their shoulders. You think for yourself. Okay. You don't necessarily think for other people. You're a leader. You don't conform. You're not the type of person that's just going to follow what someone else says or does, because you know what matters to you. So he may view you as someone who has a good set of values or morals as well. What I feel with the servant and mother archetype here is that you're just very generous. Like you want to go out of your way to help other people. You have a very loving heart, and it's very clear that it's important to you to be a good person. He also gave you the companion archetype, which indicates that he feels you are unselfish, you are loyal, you would make a good partner in life. Let's see. What else? We pulled 2 more cards here. What else does he like about? What else does he like? He feels like you're very personally empowered. So you may come across as someone who is very intelligent, okay? As someone who is very confident. It doesn't mean you don't have humility or like a humble side to you, but you carry yourself really well, and he is attracted to that. There's a lot to do with like your energy, like your aura, your energy, how you carry yourself, how you act around other people, like how you socialize. It's the way you move. He likes watching you move. You might have like a really good ass or something like that, and he's like really into, watching you walk around, for example. But it's something about your energy, your aura, like, and that's probably the highest compliment that I can give to you from him specifically, because what people don't realize is they're not attracted to someone's physical appearance. That might be what catches their attention right away, but someone's aura, someone's energy, that is actually what holds attraction. So he might have initially seen your physical appearance and been caught with that, but it's your energy, your aura, like you just can't fake that, and as long as you're genuine and you're authentic, that is what keeps someone's attention. Philomena, I have your question, girl. Thank you. So, if you think about it, you could literally find someone who you think is the most attractive person in the world. You're like, hands down, this is the most attractive person I've ever seen in my life. Okay. but then they're boring or they're rude or they have a big ego. And immediately that person goes from being like a 10 to you to like a 3. It's because what keeps and holds attraction is someone's energy, right? So that's why I was saying that it's such a compliment that he's has both physical attraction to you, but that he's saying it's the way you carry yourself, it's your energy, it's your aura, it's just who you are as a person that holds this attraction for him. Do I get genuine vibes from him? I don't know, because that's not the question that I asked. But considering what he's highlighting about you and what he values in you, those things seem to be genuine. So, for example, he's not just saying, oh, she's hot, I want to hook up with her, or whatever. He's saying, I like her mind, I like her generosity, I feel like she'd make a good partner, I love her energy. Those are things that someone who is a good person would value. Okay. If someone had bad intentions or disingenuous intentions, they might be focusing more on the physical only. Okay. So going off of what he values and what he's attracted to, I can deduce that he is a good person and he has genuine intentions. But again, that's not the question I asked. So I don't want to like steer you in the wrong direction because I didn't pull cards for that question. So, but that's what I'm feeling. He also feels like you're charming as well. You have like a charisma and a charm to you, like a raw kind of power that can only be produced by you. It's not something that can really be replicated by anything else. Yeah, I think so too. I would agree with that. You know, he's not sitting here being like, I like how sneaky she is. I like that she can keep a secret. I like that she has player qualities. I like that she plays games. I like that, he's not saying that kind of stuff. He's not saying like any kind of shady thing. The things that he's valuing is both physical, mental, and spiritual. It's like important. All angles are important to him. Which I would agree. I think any good person would agree. You want to have physical attraction for the person you're with, but you also know that that's not going to be the thing that like lasts. That's not the enduring thing. Physicality changes, your body changes, your hair color changes, your face shape changes, you age and things like that. So it's like he's kind of acknowledging that it's not just about the physical. Even though the physical is very good for him, it's not the only thing that matters. You're welcome. You're very, very welcome. Move on to Philomena. You too. You too. I hope we see you back here soon. Philomena, I'm going to shuffle for you, but if you're in here, you can let me know. Thanks. Thank you. Hey, Philomena. We're going to pull for you right now. She made the right decision. She made the right decision. She made the right decision. All right, Philomena. So what I am getting from this is a yes. All the cards that I pulled are leaning towards that this was the right call for you. I have the star here, and this card indicates that it's like a very positive gesture. It's a very positive judgment on your decision to kind of move on from this person. I'm not sure if you were picking up on like red flags or anything like that, but the justice card is here and it's indicating that you were very true to yourself when you made this decision. So, for whatever reason it was that you let this connection go, you were being very true to yourself in that moment. You felt like this is what you needed to do. And I feel like spirit's never going to judge you for that. Justice indicates like the need for fairness, the need for truth, the need for honesty. So I don't know if that had something to do with the reason why you disconnected from this person. Maybe you felt like you couldn't necessarily trust them and their intentions or their motives. But for whatever it was a good call. Like I'm getting yes, that was a good judgment call, essentially. It did happen kind of fast, but at the same time, I don't think you really needed to linger or dwell in a connection like this for very long before you could figure it out for yourself that it wasn't going ideally, right? You didn't need much time. You don't want to waste much time. He went 24 hours without replying to you. You just stopped talking to him. Yeah, and I mean, I think that makes sense. Because Philomena, I think your biggest thing, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but from my experience, is that you just don't want to waste time, right? You want to just kind of say, okay, there's a connection here. We're not really communicating. Moving on, moving along. Like you don't want to sit there and spend time with someone or on something that you feel like it really isn't going anywhere. And I feel like from spirit the perspective is I respect that. Like I think that that was a good decision, because if you felt that you were holding someone's attention or you felt that they were holding yours and vice versa, you would not have broken off the connection. So there was something in your gut that was telling you this was not the right thing for you. And I feel you are supported in that decision, and that decision was respected for your highest good. So, like I said, while it might have been a little fast, meaning that you kind of made that decision pretty quick, because I have the Knight of Swords here, you have big plans for yourself. You have an idea of what it is that you're looking for. And I just feel like you just don't want to waste your time. And there's nothing wrong with that either. I'm going to donate for another question. Did I make the right decision by cutting off Sebastian? Okay. Let's see what we got there. I'll let you know when that donation comes through. I got it. All right, did she make the right decision by cutting off Sebastian? I'm getting a lot of maybes coming through. I think this one's a little bit trickier. The Two of Swords, which literally means decision, and you're asking about a decision, is indicating that it may or may not have been the right decision, which makes me feel like there's still some debate on this for you in your heart. Maybe not like 50-50, but there could be a small part of you that's wondering about it. That also can indicate that there's unfinished business here and that Sebastian will be coming back into your life at some point. I feel like for your, how do I say this, mental health, your sanity, your just like your own confidence and things like that, I feel like it was the right decision because I have the Eight of Wands and that feels like very clear thinking, clarity. Like it was a good a good thing for your mental health for some reason is what I'm picking up on. But it feels like things aren't over. The reason I say that is because the Two of Swords is here, the Seven of Swords is here, and the Nine of Swords is here. And the Nine of Swords indicates like almost finished, but not quite. And the Four of Pentacles talks about like holding on to a situation. So this again feels a little bit trickier. It's not necessarily no. I feel like Spirit wants to say majority wise, this was the best decision for you and your sanity and your mental health or whatever, because maybe this wasn't the most constructive type of relationship for you at this time, but because there's a lot of uncertainty surrounding this connection, it feels like there's unfinished business. It feels like there's a possibility this person's going to come back into your life. He called me negative because I called him out about his inconsistency. Oh, okay. You could block him and make it finish. You could. And then that probably would change the trajectory of this question because you would be ultimately making a different decision. Meaning that you would be blocking him and you'd be completely cutting him off entirely. I feel like you have the support from Spirit about this, but I don't know. I feel like if he wants to be a part of your life, he's going to figure out a way to do it. So, not that you don't have a say or you don't have a choice, but I'm saying like, I feel like he might be coming back around and I feel like it's going to kind of open up some type of way, some type of feeling, some type of confusion for you. So I think you'd really have to put your foot down on this one. You'd really have to block him, ignore any kind of advances, any kind of requests, things like that. And then maybe, just maybe it would be fine. I'm glad to hear that. So there could be some lingering things on his end then, especially if you feel so certain. Like I said, I feel like Spirit's saying like this was definitely a good choice for your well-being. It's just a little bit of a trickier situation because I just keep hearing unfinished business. So I think if you utilize your free will to influence this outcome and you decide, okay, hell no, I don't want him to have access to me whatsoever, then any unfinished business would only be on his end and you would be able, to move forward with your life just fine. I think that's perfect then. Because I don't want someone putting you down either, Philomena, because you're asking for someone to step up and be more consistent, and then they're trying to put the blame back on you. That's not good for your well-being. And so if this person's not going to step up the way you need them to, so long.